From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang in review. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday administered the oath of office to the newly promoted generals and flag officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP in a ceremony at the Ceremonial Hall in Malacañang Palace. In his speech, the President reminded the newly promoted generals and flag officers that there is much more to do, missions to be accomplished, and service to be rendered to the people that they have sworn to protect with their lives. The Chief Executive added that the load or burden they carry on their shoulders is the hope of every Filipino. Taking their oath before the Commander-in-Chief are 39 newly promoted AFP generals and flag officers, marking a significant moment in their careers and service to the nation. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
I would like to greet on this occasion, of course, our Secretary of National Defense, Secretary Gilbert Chidoro, the other cabinet members present, the Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff, General Romeo Browner, and the major service commanders present here with us. Of course, the newly promoted general and flag officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, fellow workers in government, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and once again, welcome to Malacañang. I congratulate you all for a promotion that I know is well-deserved, the fitting reward for a career and a life dedicated to public service. It is a recognition that is built on merit, as all professional advancements in the armed services should be. It is also based on competence, pursuant to the time-honored tradition that the only way to step up in ranks is to step up with your work. From the day you get your first commission, many decades ago, you have since given your best, making sure every assignment is one rung up the ladder in terms of course, your rank, but more importantly, in terms of the quality of the service and the work and the mission that you are complying with. But you have not yet reached the summit of your career. Your new rank, however, does not send you out to your last patrol. There is much still left to do, missions to accomplish, service to be selflessly rendered to the people that we have all sworn to protect with our lives. If any, the stars on your shoulder do not just indicate rank, but are reminders of the responsibilities, added responsibilities that you now have to carry on those shoulders. The more stars there are, the heavier the responsibility. Be mindful always of the weight that carries. After all, the load that you feel are, in fact, our people's hopes. Especially now that we are at the juncture of our history where our nation faces complex security challenges, the response to which requires bold thinking, brave action, which I know you can supply in abundant amounts as befits your rank and you can summon from your previous experience. This is the landscape that confronts you now. It is the security terrain that you have to address in the remaining tours of duty of your career. As senior officers in our armed services, may the stars conferred upon you serve as an inspiration in performing your duties with utmost dedication, professionalism, integrity, all worthy of emulation. Be a boot on the ground or be among them and still command from the front. I know that until the last hour of your last day in office, you will do your work that honors our oath, respects our uniform, earns the admiration of our peers and affirms the prestige that you have earned through a lifetime of service. That you will uphold the principles that made you patriots, professionals, always compliant with command, faithful to our Constitution, loyal to our country, and mindful of our conscience. Malaki ang inyong katungkulan na gagampanin pa. Mabigat pa ang mga gawaing nag-aantay sa inyo. Marami pa tayong misyon na harapin at higit sa lahat, malaki ang inaasahan sa inyo ng sambayanan na ating pinaglilingkuran at ng Republika na ating pinagtatanggol at minamahal. Huwag natin silang biguin. Yan ang kapalit ng bago ninyong rangko. Yan ang sukli sa kanilang pananalig sa inyo. Mabuhay ang AFP, mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas, at muli, congratulations sa ating mga bagong promote na General Officers and Flag Officers. Thank you. And
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Strengthening the country's air power capability was among the points of discussion in the Second Quarter Command Conference of the Philippine Air Force, or PAF. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday led the Second Quarter Command Conference of the PAF at the Villamor Air Base in Pasay City. According to Presidential Communications Secretary Cheloy Garafil, the President was briefed on the recent activities, plans, and proposed projects of the PAF. Secretary Garafil added that the Chief Executive gave his guidance and instructions on some of the proposed programs to further strengthen the PAF as it defends the country's sovereignty, territory, and development. The Commander-in-Chief was accompanied by high-ranking defense and security officials, including Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr., Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP Chief of Staff Romeo Bronner, and PAF Commanding General Lieutenant General Stephen Pareño. Also in the meeting were Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin and Special Assistant to the President Anton Lagdameo. In a statement, General Pareño said senior headquarters PAF staff officers as well as Air Force unit commanders provided insights and recommendations to the President on ways to further strengthen the country's air power capability to effectively guard and defend our nation from various emerging security challenges, including enhancing our capabilities for disaster response. The AFP's Air Wing also expressed its appreciation to President Marcos for personally leading the command conference.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday said the partnership between United States equity firm Cerberus and South Korea's HD Hyundai Heavy Industries in the strategically located Subic Bay will allow the Philippines to regain its footing in the global shipbuilding industry. During the announcement of the partnership in Malacañang, the President welcomed the two global companies to the Philippines and expressed optimism about the project's potential impact on the country's economy. In his message, President Marcos noted that since Cerberus' takeover of the shipyard, it has been hard at work to revitalize the shipyard and even attracted other tenants, including Cencom, the world's leading subsea cable company, and V2X, a global logistics corporation. Cerberus is a global alternative investment firm with assets across credit, private equity, and real estate strategies. Hyundai, one of the largest producers of ships in the world, already performs ships repairs and maintenance at the Aguila Subic Yard, which Cerberus acquired in 2022 after its former owner went bankrupt. The chief executive said that HD Hyundai's foray into the country would usher in a new era of shipbuilding in the Philippines. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the announcement of the partnership between Cerberus and HD Hyundai in Subic.
Thank you very much to the Special Assistant for Investment and Economic Affairs, Secretary Frederick Go. Of course, Your Excellency, Ma'am, the U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Ambassador Mary Kay Carlson, the Korean Ambassador to the Philippines, His Excellency Lee Sang-won, the Senior Managing Director of Cerberus Capital Management, Alexander Bernard, the Chief Executive Officer of HD Hyundai Shipbuilding and Offshore Engineering, Dr. Sung-Joon Kim, my fellow workers in government, partners from the private sector, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Let me start by congratulating Cerberus and HD Hyundai Heavy Industries on the finalization of this lease agreement on a portion of the Aguila Subic shipyard. This undertaking and your company's investment plans in the Philippines are testaments to the strong and enduring relationship among the Philippines, South Korea, and the United States. We welcome HD Hyundai's investment that will not only open new doors for our offshore wind industry, but will also bring maritime manufacturing back to Subic and eventually restore the glory days of shipbuilding to our shores. Not only would it generate thousands of jobs, but also enable the transfer of critical skills and improve the Philippines' position in the global market. The Philippines is also quite excited to see the realization of Cerberus's plans, including its interest in microelectronics, semiconductors, and critical metals. Since your acquisition of the Aguila Subic shipyard last April 2022, the company has been hard at work to revitalize the shipyard. And a testament to the robust operations, Cerberus has attracted other tenants as well, including Subcom, which is the world's leading subsea cable company, and V2X, a global logistics corporation. And you have worked closely with our Philippine Navy to help establishing a world-class operating base for our Navy. With the impeccable track record that you have, Cerberus will be a powerful force that will spur growth and development across many sectors. The investments that will be created hereafter are especially beneficial to Subic because these will strengthen the Freeport area's vital role as a hotspot for industrial, commercial, and other economic activities. The Subic Freeport Zone is one of the most developed and sought-after investment areas in this country. But it can be greater than what it is with the right investment and with the right innovative projects and approach. With your help, we can further accelerate the progress of Subic, cementing its role as a driver of growth for the rest of the country. We hope that your investment plans will also redound to the upskilling and reskilling of the Filipino workforce, enabling us to adapt to new technologies required by industry. We encourage HD Hyundai to partner with our Commission on Higher Education and Technical Skills Education Development Authority, or TESDA, in finding projects for the development of our very talented workforce. They will not only bring their skills to your companies, but the brand of dedication, compassion, and hard work that has become the trademark of the Filipino worker. HD Hyundai's initial focus on the development of offshore wind platforms bodes well for our goal to transitioning to renewable energy. In fact, we have put in place several policies to hasten the rollout of offshore wind projects in the country. Of course, as HD Hyundai is recognized as one of the largest producers of ships in the world, we look forward to the opportunity to usher in a new era of shipbuilding in the country. In 2022, the Philippines was the seventh largest shipbuilder in the world, contributing almost 400,000 gross tons of newly built sea and ocean-going vessels. This is a far cry from our capacity in the past, and even far behind the output of shipbuilding behemoths like South Korea and Japan. With this initiative of Cerberus and HD Hyundai, we will have a fresh start and a strong foundation in realizing our vision to be amongst the largest and most consequential shipbuilders in the world. We have established our position as the largest source of competent and able seafarers in the world. The next logical step for us is to ensure that the ships run by Filipinos can also be made by Filipinos. However, great ambitions like this require hard work. It requires dedication and perseverance. We must dedicate the work that we do moving forward, not just for the fulfillment of our grand dream for the development of our country, but also for the realization of the dreams of every ordinary Filipino. It is about the ambitious dreams of grounded individuals like yourselves, always eager to take on the challenge and come up with the next big idea that will change the industry and the entire nation. This is the kind of progress and cooperation and innovation that I want the Philippines to have. This is the Bagong Pilipinas, or the new Philippines that we continue to build. And I hope in the very near future that we will be measuring the success of this very grand project. And I congratulate all of those in the private sector and in the public sector who have been involved. I know that it has been a long process and not a simple one, but nonetheless, we are here today to celebrate the official opening of this project. Thank you, and a pleasant day to you all. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday led the discussion on the government's comprehensive archipelagic defense concept during the Command Conference of the Philippine Army, or PA, in Malacañang Palace. In a social media post, the Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, said the Commander-in-Chief led the discussion on how the Army can contribute to the country's new defense posture, which aims to secure Philippine seas and territory. The PCO added that updates on improving the capabilities of the military through the PA Capability Development Program were also discussed. Aside from the President, also in the meeting were Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr., Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP Chief of Staff Romeo Bronner Jr., and Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, along with the top officials of the Army. Under the new defense strategy, the country's military pivots to a more outward-looking defense posture and must focus on strengthening other services of the AFP, not just the Philippine Navy. The Philippines adopted the new defense strategy amid China's aggression in the West Philippine Sea.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday directed the Land Transportation Office, or LTO, to strictly implement its policies against dealers who are unable to quickly release motor vehicles plates. In a sectoral meeting with the officials of the Department of Transportation, or DOTR, and the LTO, the President told transport officials that they should be strict about their policies to ensure a zero backlog on new license plates as far as motor vehicles are concerned. During the meeting, LTO Chief Assistant Secretary Vigor Mendoza said, they have already addressed the backlog of 245,975 pairs for the new license plates of four-wheeled motor vehicle plates. Mendoza said most of the license plates are in the possession of car dealers who have yet to turn them over to their customers, adding that they have already issued around 130 show cause orders to dealers to explain their failure to deliver the license plates to their respective buyers. Assistant Secretary Mendoza said they already met with motorcycle traders with the agreement to strictly follow the 11-day period to release the license plates to their buyers from the date of purchase. He added they will also continue to press for the immediate release of license plates. Mendoza said the LTO has launched a hotline number where motorcycle riders can report their erring traders should they fail to comply with the 11-day period for the release of the plates.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday approved the internet-based procurement method to shorten and reduce government procurement process during a sectoral meeting in Malacañang Palace, significantly bolstering the national digitalization thrust. In a press briefing, Dennis Santiago, Procurement Service, Department of Budget and Management, or PSDBM, Executive Director said, in the e-marketplace, the Bids and Awards Committee does not have to be present during the procurement process. Santiago added that the usual 26 calendar days or 136 calendar days for the procurement of goods can be done in as short as 3 days. Electronic marketplace or e-marketplace is a digital platform that facilitates buying and selling activities between multiple buyers and sellers. It serves as a virtual marketplace where transactions and interactions occur electronically. Santiago said the e-marketplace already have numerous products in the system. Government procuring entities will have to select from those products and then already make an order. Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman said the e-marketplace, which is similar to popular e-commerce platforms like Lazada, Amazon, and Shopee, is part of the Marcos administration's efforts to digitalize the government's procurement system. Pangandaman said it will address concerns on the procurement process, which has been identified as the biggest bottleneck in budget utilization of agencies. In addition to the shortened procurement process, PSDBM also sees a 5 to 15% cut in government expenses.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday called for a comprehensive and all-encompassing strategy to improve the state of higher education in the country. This, as the President noted, that no Philippine university reached the top 100 of the Times Higher Education's 2024 Asia University Rankings. In his speech during the National Higher Education Day Summit, or NHEDS 2024, at the Philippine International Convention Center, or PICC, in Pasay City, the President said, "This just goes to show that much work is still to be done." According to the latest The Times Higher Education Asia University Rankings 2024, Ateneo de Manila University is the highest-ranked Philippine university, ranking in the 401 to 500 bracket, followed by the De La Salle University and the University of the Philippines, both at the 501 to 600 bracket. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
It is with delight that I join all of you today in this summit, where gains that will be recognized and challenges will be assessed. Strategies have been identified that will move higher education forward. The National Higher Education Day Summit is the first of its kind to be held in our country, so we can collaborate with our higher educational institutions and other stakeholders to assess and to steer the direction of higher education in the Philippines. I do hope that this summit has given its participants a commanding and unobstructed view of our educational landscape. Whatever the outputs of the summit are, I hope they will cascade down to campuses and to classrooms as a force of good, as a force of innovation, and methods to move our educational standards forward and upward. No challenge demands greater attention than this. This is the highest priority. I have stated it before, but I will state it again, that as far as my view of government service is concerned, the most important service that government must provide to its people is a good education. No country can prosper without a good educational background. Even if we take it down to the individual level, individuals cannot prosper without a good education. And of course, together with all the stakeholders, both on the public side and the private side, once again, training, education holds the key. As of December 2023, 81 Philippine higher educational institutions have been included in various world university rankings, a significant increase from the 52 that were included in July 2023. However, we must acknowledge that in the recent Times Higher Education 2024 Asia University rankings, unfortunately, no Philippine university has reached top 100, with the country's top schools either dropping or maintaining their rankings. This just goes to show that much work is still to be done. We must pursue a comprehensive and all-encompassing strategy that will turn this trend around. The state of our education today shapes the future of the nation. The battle to win the future is waged in today's schools, where we should arm our young men and women with the right skills to not only survive, but to thrive in a rapidly changing world that does not wait for anyone. Giving the youth the right competencies and skills and training is the only way for them to prevail and to prosper in this highly competitive world. Our greatest obligation to them is to mold them into critical thinkers, into problem solvers, into visionaries, wielding the skills that will allow them to succeed in the future. Without an educated workforce that will implement them, any national economic blueprint will remain simply as that, blueprints. We will not have the means or the capacity or the labor force to be able to make those plans reality. Without skilled manpower who will run them, industries will grind to a halt. Social services will cease to function. Without a national pool of talent who can master new technologies and adjust quickly to tectonic changes, the country will be perpetually catching up, left behind by other societies whose educational systems have been made more adept. And that is why improving higher education and making it responsive to the present and future needs of society is front and center of this administration's national development agenda. The success of many of our plans for the country depend heavily on the availability of a strong, resilient, and skilled human resource to drive the nation forward. Allow me to share you my fundamental beliefs on the matter. One, higher education is too important a mission to be left to government alone. As with all the important developments, all the important plans that we put together,
we cannot say that it is only government's responsibility, but we should also allow private parties to participate and not shove private parties to the sidelines. Nor should it be that the cause of their diminution or their demise. When it comes to educating our youth, government and private schools are not competitors, but must be regarded as equal partners. And as such, government should ensure their viability, treat them as strategic assets whose existence is guaranteed by nurturing policies and support. Of all state expenditure, education delivers the best dividends. This administration remains committed to the continuing provision of a free tertiary education in public universities and colleges for qualified students as provided under the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act. We have allocated close to 134 billion pesos for our state and local universities and colleges this year so that more students can receive free tertiary education and more families will be eased of the burden of having to pay for college. We know that whatever is spent on education, we should never regard as an expenditure. It is an investment. It is an investment. It is an investment in our people. It is an investment in our country. It is an investment in our future. Third, mandates must be attached to merits. Democratizing access to education should not lead to the lowering of academic standards. Scholastic yardsticks are not movable goalposts, which we change every year to improve our numbers. These must be regarded as firm benchmarks that are resistant to the pressures that seek to undercut the quality of that education. We must hold ourselves, our students, the entire system to a high standard. And it is the only way that we will succeed in this fast-moving, changing world. Fourth, there are ways of solving educational problems other than just throwing money at the problem. Certainly, we could not say that appropriations will always solve the problem. Cash is not always a cure. Even funding does not automatically guarantee that we will get our desired outcome. A solution, if intrinsically bad, does not become effective because it has become funded. I hope you take the above points into consideration. The last thing we need now is a set of new talking points that we rehash once again what we have learned a long time ago. Besides, what we have learned a long time ago is actually no longer relevant. We have seen the changes in the requirements of the new global post-pandemic economy. And for us to be able to participate successfully in that new global economy, we must have a skilled workforce. And that will depend upon their training and their education. I would rather that consensus forged in this summit be incorporated in the proposed budget for CHED and SUCs for 2025, because only then can ideas be translated into reality. So as we look further to the horizon in our higher educational sector, I hope this summit will yield answers and solutions to the challenges and opportunities that we now face in our higher educational sector. And so I encourage every stakeholder here to work with us and strengthen our efforts towards an inclusive, equitable, accessible, and sustainable higher educational sector. Let us mold a new generation of critical thinkers, problem solvers, visionaries, who will realize our aspirations for a new Philippines, a bagong Pilipinas, to bring us to a future of growth, opportunity, and prosperity. In my view, it is the only way that our country will succeed. It is the only way that we will be an active participant in not only the economy of the world, but in all or as a citizen as a citizen of the world community, that this country will succeed. So with this, I trust that the men and women of CHED, led by Chairperson Popoy de Vera, will lead us forward and continue their trustworthy and unwavering service for the benefits of our students and the entire country. I wish you all a fruitful and engaging summit, and I once again pledge the total and complete support of this administration for all that you endeavor to do for higher education to improve the quality that we are providing for our students and for our workforce.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
The National Economic Development Authority, or NEDA board, chaired by Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., has approved on Wednesday 30.56 billion pesos worth of project to rebuild and reconstruct calamity-hit school facilities outside Metro Manila. According to the Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, the Department of Education, or DepEd's Infrastructure for Safer and Resilient Schools, or ISRS project, will be largely funded by an Official Development Assistance, or ODA loan from the World Bank International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. The PCO said of the 30.56 billion peso total project cost, 27.5 billion pesos will come from loan proceeds, while the 3.06 billion pesos will be a counterpart fund from the national government. ODA loans support developing countries by providing low interest, long-term and concessional funds to finance development projects. The ISRS project will be implemented by the DepEd and the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, from 2025 to 2029. It involves the repair, rehabilitation, retrofitting, and reconstruction of school facilities outside the National Capital Region, or NCR, which were damaged by various disasters between 2019 and 2023. The project is expected to benefit 1,282 schools, 4,756 school buildings, 13,101 classrooms, and 741,038 learners.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday personally delivered various government assistance to select farmers, fisherfolk, and family beneficiaries from northern Mindanao in a ceremonial distribution at the Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology, or MSU-IIT, in Iligan City. This is the fourth time the president has held a similar event in towns severely affected by El Nino, resulting in agricultural damage and water shortages. In his speech, the chief executive said, "The government is diligently advancing projects and programs that will give opportunities for the city as well as the region." President Marcos said the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, has already outlined the strategies and projects under the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan from 2023 to 2028 that aims to make Region 10 globally competitive, a leading agricultural hub, and a major industrial tourism trade center. A financial assistance worth 10,000 pesos was given to select beneficiaries from Iligan City, Lanao del Norte, and Misamis Occidental. Additionally, the local government of Iligan City received 10.5 million pesos in presidential assistance, alongside the provincial governments of Lanao del Norte and Misamis Occidental, which received 13.9 million pesos and 24.3 million pesos respectively. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Nagagalak po ako na makarating dito sa inyong lugar upang makita at makasama na naman ang mga kababayan natin sa Iligan City at ang mga karatig bayan dito sa Region 10. Napaka-espesyal po ng Northern Mindanao para sa akin sapagkat isa po ang inyong lugar na nagbigay ng na di matatawarang suporta sa akin nung nakaraang halalan. Muli, maraming salamat po sa inyong tiwala. Asahan niyo po na itong suporta at tiwala na ipinakita niyo para sa atin at sa ating mga kasamahan ay isusuklian namin ng lahat ng trabaho at tulong upang pagandahin ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino at pagandahin ang ating minamahal na Pilipinas. Kahit po ngayon, talaga namang nakakaantig ang damdamin, ang makita kayo na patuloy na tumatangkilik at tumutulong sa pamahalaan. Tunay na nakatatak sa aking puso na maging sa aking buong pamilya ang siyudad ng Iligan, ang buong lalawigan ng Lanao del Norte. Kaya naman, masikap nating isinusulong ang mga inisyatibo na makakapagpabilis sa pag-usbong ng kaunlaran dito sa inyong siyudad at sa buong region. Tuloy-tuloy po ang ating pamahalaan sa pagsisikap na maitaguyod ang mga proyekto at programang magbibigay ng oportunidad para sa lahat. Sa pangunguna ng NEDA, inilatag na ang mga estratehiya at proyekto na gagawin sa inyong rehiyon sa ilalim ng Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan ng 2023 hanggang 2028. Hangad po nito na gawing globally competitive at leading agricultural hub, major industrial tourism, trade center ang buong Region 10. Ilan lamang sa ating mga prioridad na proyekto ay ang 8 bilyong piso na Pangil Bay Bridge na magkokonekta sa Tangub, Misamis Occidental at tubod dito sa Lanao del Norte. Dagdag po rito, nakapaglabas na tayo ng halos 2 bilyong piso para sa implementasyon ng Iligan City Coastal Bypass Road na naglalayong maibsan ang trapiko sa syudad. Nariyan din ang expansion, rehabilitation at development ng mga paliparan sa Osamis, Camiguin, Lumbia, Bukidnon at Lagindingan. Ang mga proyektong ito ay naglalayong mapabilis ang daloy ng ekonomiya at oportunidad para sa mga mamamayan ng Region 10. Atin din binibigyan ng karampatang pansin ang pagpapalago ng agrikultura. Kaya naman po, nagbubuhos na po ang NIA, ang National Irrigation Administration, ng mga proyekto pang-irigasyon. Sa Lanao del Norte, prioridad nating matapos ang 2 solar pump irrigation project sa bayan ng Salvador at Sapad kung saan halos 30 milyong piso ang nabigay na pondo para dito sa proyektong ito. Meron pa rin po tayo dahil po kailangan na pag tayo ay makikilahok sa bagong ekonomiya na lumitaw sa pagkatapos ng pandemya, pagkatapos ng COVID-19, naglalagay rin po tayo ng mga scholarship program at subsidy para sa mga naglalayong mag-aral ng agricultural at medical courses. Kaya sa academic year 2023 to 2024, nakapagbigay tayo ng halos 60 milyong piso para sa higit na 400 mga scholar ng medical scholarship and return service program ng CHED dito sa Region 10. Para naman po sa mga itinatawag na micro, small, and medium enterprises o MSME Nandiyan po ang ating negosyo center at shared services facilities ng Department of Trade and Industry upang tulungan kayong mas mapalago ang inyong mga negosyo. Sa ilalim ng negosyo center program, higit sa 30,000 na MSMEs sa rehiyon ang ating natulungan simula nung nakaraang taon, 2023. Dagdag po pa rito ang halos 3,000 na MSMEs ang ating natulungan sa ilalim ng Shared Service Facilities Project. Isa rin sa mga programa ng DTI ay ang One Town, One Product bilang suporta sa lokal na produkto ng rehiyon. Dito sa Iligan, alam kong sikat na pasalubong ang toasted peanut at palapa. Kaya kung meron kayong dala dyan, picturean ninyo, mag-selfie kayo kasama ng produkto tapos i-post ninyo sa social media. Simpleng bagay lang, pero napakalaking tulong yan upang makilala at maipagmalaki ang inyong mga produkto at inyong lugar. Lalo na at usong-uso ngayon ang social media sa karamihan sa atin ngayon. Hindi maikaila ang ating pagiging malikhain at nakikita ito sa mga ipinagmamalaki natin mga lokal na produkto at serbisyo. Sa parte naman ng pamahalaan, makakaasa po kayo na patuloy ang aming mga programa at proyekto upang mas mapabuti ang pamumuhay ng mga mamamayan sa rehiyon. Ngunit, naharap din ang ating bansa sa matinding tagtuyot na balakid sa ating kaunlaran. Kaya nga po, ang ginagawa natin ngayon ay sinusuyod natin ang buong kapuluan upang maghatid ng tulong sa mga napinsala ng matinding tag-init at tagtuyo na nangyayari sa El Nino. Kaya napansin ng aking may bahay, nagka-sunburn na daw ako sa kakabigay ng tulong. Pero wala tayong magagawa. Ito talagang kulay ng mga Ilocano. Sanay mabilad sa araw. Lalo na kung ito ay para magsilbi sa taong bayan para sa inyo. Lahat po, marami po tayong pupuntahan pa. Walang rehiyon ang makakalimutan sa pagbibigay ng tulong. Walang sektor ang makakaligtaan. Pwede ko naman po inabili na sa aking mga kalihim ang pagdadala ng tulong. Pwede ko rin iatas sa iba na paghahatid ng serbisyo. Ngunit, kung gagawin ko yun, hindi ko kayo makakasalumuha. Hindi ko makikita ang inyong tunay na kalagayan. Hindi ko maririnig ang inyong mga hinaing. Higit sa lahat, hindi ko matutunghayan ang pag-unlad ng Iligan, ng Lanao del Norte na bunga ng sipag at tiyaga ng kanyang mga mamamayan. Napakalaki po ang bilib, paghanga at respeto ko sa inyong lahat. Kaya naman, minamarapat ko na isama ang buong lakas ng pamahalaan sa aking pagdalaw sa inyong rehiyon. Mula sa Office of the President, mga iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno hanggang sa lokal na pamahalaan. Lahat po kami ay nagkapit-bisig upang maging mabilis at mabisa ang paghatid ng mga ayuda sa inyo. Pangungunahan po natin ang pag-aabot ng tseke sa ating mga lokal na pamahalaan para sa presidential assistance ng mga magsasaka at mangingisdang apektado ng El Nino na nagkakahalaga ng 10,000 piso bawat benepisaryo. Ito po ay dagdag po sa mga ibinibigay ng iba't ibang ahensya ng pamahalaan at ito ay galing mismo sa opisina ng Pangulo upang magsilbing dagdag tulong sa mga apektadong pamilya. Nandito rin po ang DSWD upang mamahagi ng pinansyal na tulong ang opisina ng ating butihing House Speaker upang mamahagi ng bigas sa mga minamahal kong Pilipino. Asahan po ninyo ang patuloy naming pag-iikot sa Mindanao at sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa upang masiguro na maihahatid namin ang tulong at serbisyo sa taong bayan. narito po ang inyong pamahalaan sa lahat ng oras. Sa panahon ng tagtuyot at pagparating ng tag-ulan, handa po kaming umagapay sa inyong lahat. Sa ilalim ng bagong Pilipinas, walang manlalamang at walang malalamangan, walang mang-iiwan at walang maiiwanan. Lahat po tayo ay sabay-sabay nahahakbang tungo sa mas maunlad na kinabukasan. Tiyakin po natin na ang bawat Pilipino ay mabigyan ng pagkakataon umasenso at gumaan ang buhay ng kanilang sarili at ng kanilang pamilya. Maraming salamat, Iligan City. Mabuhay kayong lahat. Asahan po ninyo na ang inyong pamahalaan ay laging nakaalalay sa inyo. Ang inyong pamahalaan ay laging pinapakinggan ang pangangailangan ninyo. Ang ating pamahalaan ay laging nandito upang magbigay ng tulong pa sa bawat sa inyo upang masabi naman natin dito sa kahirapan ay nakapagdulot ng kahit kaunting ginhawa. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
After his visit to Iligan City on Thursday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. then proceeded to Cagayan de Oro, where he personally delivered the presidential assistance to the farmers, fisherfolk, and family beneficiaries that were severely affected by the El Nino phenomenon. In his speech at the Pimentel Convention Center in Cagayan de Oro City, the President shared that the irrigation and water projects will make sure that sufficient and clean water will be provided to improve the lives of its citizens. The chief executive added that the government will exhaust all available means to deliver government assistance needed by El Nino-hit farmers and fishermen in Mindanao. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Ikinagagalak ko pong makabalik dito sa CDO at uulitin ko po ang aking first impression sa inyong lalawigan. Kapatsyada ba kaayo dari nga lugar? Wala pong halong biro, tunay pong napakaganda ng CDO. Talaga naman pong nakakatuwa na makasama kayo muli dahil napakasaya ng inyong mga ngiti at napakainit ng inyong pagtanggap at pagsalubong sa amin. Ang sadya po namin dito ay upang personal na iabot sa ating mga lokal na pamahalaan ang presidential assistance para sa ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda na napinsala, naapektuhan ng El Nino ang ating dinadaanan na pagtuyot. Ito ay nakakahalaga ng 10,000 piso na tulong sa mga kwalipikadong magsasaka, mangingisda, at mga pamilyang labis na naapektuhan ng tagtuyot na dinadanas natin ngayon. Maliit na halaga po, ngunit umaasa akong magagamit ninyo ito upang makapagsimula muli. Ito ay bukod sa aming ibinibigay mula sa DSWD, mula sa DA, mula sa programa ng DOLE, ng TUPAD, magbabahagi rin ng bigas. Bukod pa dyan, magbabahagi rin ng bigas ang opisina ng ating House Speaker. At tayo ay nagsasagawa rin ng Bagong Pilipinas Servicio Fair sa University of Science and Technology ng Southern Philippines. Kasama ang DSWD, ang Department of Trade and Industry, ang TESDA, ang DOLE, ang Department of Health, at iba pang mga ahensya ng pamahalaan. Ang mga ahensyang ito ay mamamahagi ng iba't ibang tulong mula sa kanilang mga programa. Nais ko ring ipabahagi sa inyo ng mga hakbang na ginagawa ng inyong pamahalaan upang mapabilis ang ating pag-unlad dito sa inyong rehiyon. Alam ko pong doble kayod ngayon ang mga magsasaka at mangingisda dito sa inyong lugar sa kabila ng epekto ng dulot ng El Nino. Sa abot ng aming makakaya, gagawin ng pamahalaan ang lahat upang matiyak na ang kinakailangan suporta at tulong ay agad na may paparating sa bawat apektadong pamilya, magsasaka at mangingisda. Makakaasa naman ang lahat na hindi lamang sa panahon ng hirap ay nariyan ang inyong gobyerno. Dahil tuloy-tuloy ang mga programang infrastruktura sa inyong lungsod at rehiyon, gaya ng pagpagawa ng mga paliparan, kalsada at iba pang mga proyekto. Upang mapabuti ang lagay ng transportasyon sa Cagayan de Oro at sa Northern Mindanao, isinasagawa po natin ang ilang improvement at saka development project. Isa na rito ang pagpapalawig ng Lagindingan Airport na may halagang halos 13 bilyong piso. Kaya tinuturo ko po si Congressman Bambi dahil ilang taon mo na sinasabi sa akin yan na naging totoo pa rin, naging totoo rin. Nariyan din ang patuloy ng paggawa ng pagsasaayos ng mga daan, kabilang na ang CDO Coastal Road at CDO Diversion Road upang makatulong sa pagpabilis ng biyahe ng ating mga kababayan, gayon din ang mga pangunahing produkto na sa ating mga merkado. Ginagawa din po natin ang lahat upang matapos agad ang Cagayan de Oro Port Expansion Project na may kabuuang halagang 700 milyong piso upang makatulong sa pagpapaluwag ng port traffic para maging mas mura at mas mabilis at mas madali ang hindi lamang ang mga pasahero na bumabiyahe, kung hindi pati na ang mga produktong nanggagaling sa CDO, ang mga produktong nanggagaling sa Northern Mindanao ay mapapabilis at magiging mas maganda ang hanap buhay ng ating mga kababayan. Bukod po sa mga gusali, kalsada at iba pang infrastruktura, ay marami po tayong natutunan noong COVID. Marami po tayong nakita na naranasan noong pandemya. Kaya hindi lang kalsada at infrastruktura, kundi ipapatayo rin natin ang trauma and multi-specialty centers na sa Northern Mindanao Medical Center. Ito po ay upang patuloy na matugunan ang inyong pangangailangan sa larangan ng pangkalusugan. Sa mga ito, makikita natin ang mga konkretong hakbang sa kung paano natin pagbubutihin ang transportasyon, kalusugan at infrastruktura sa rehiyon. Sa ilalim naman ng Pantawid Pamilya Pilipino Program, nagbigay po tayo ng mahigit 500 milyong piso simula Enero nitong taon upang matulungan ang halos 300,000 mahihirap na sambahayan sa buong rehiyon. Nagpaabot din tayo ng tulong sa ating mga senior citizen para sa mga kanilang pangangailangan, lalo na sa pagkain at sa gamot. Simula noong Enero, mahigit 900 milyong piso ang ating naipamigay sa ating mga indigent na senior citizens dito sa region ninyo. Para naman sa ating disadvantaged and displaced workers, patuloy ang ating ipinapatupad ang tulong panghanap buhay sa ating Disadvantaged Displaced Workers Program o TUPAD. Simula noong 2023, nakaraang taon, nakapagbigay na po tayo ng higit 1 bilyong piso sa libo-libong benepisyaryo dito sa Northern Mindanao. Ngunit, hindi lang po ito ang ating hangarin. Hinaharap din natin ang problema sa tubig na pinapalala ng mainit na panahon na dala ng El Nino. Suportado po natin ang mga proyektong pang-irigasyon at flood control na hindi lamang tutugon sa issue ng kakulangan ng tubig, kundi pati na rin sa perwisyo ng pagbaha na nararanasan dito sa CDO. Masaya akong ipaalam na ang Flood Risk Improvement and Management Project para sa Cagayan de Oro River ay atin pasisiyanaan. Katuwang ang iba pang irrigation at water project
inaasahan magiging malaki ang ginhawa dala nito sa CDO. Hindi rin lingid sa akin, kalaman, ang suliraning kinakaharap ng lungsod sa supply ng tubig. At ito'y balitang-balita. Kaya, noong ito'y nalaman ko, ay nakipag-usap po tayo kay Mr. Manny Pangilinan ng Cagayan de Oro Bulk Water upang manumbalik ang normal na supply ng tubig habang humahanap tayo ng pangmatagalan na solusyon dito sa problemang ito. Pumayag po si Mr. Pangilinan sa ating pakiusap at handa po siya makipagpulong sa inyong alkalde upang matuldukan na ang suliraning ito at mabigyan ng kinakailangan tubig ang lagpas 60,000 kababayan dito sa CDO. Akin ding inatasan ng Local Water Utilities Administration na pag-aralan ang posibleng pamamahala nito sa Cagayan de Oro Water District upang sa lalong madaling panahon ay mapag-aralan ang solusyon sa sitwasyon ng supply ng tubig dito sa inyong lugar. Hindi lang sa supply ng tubig, pati na ang pagtukoy ng angkop na water rate at pagtupad sa mga obligasyon nito sa mga consumer at sa ating mga supplier. Hindi natin hahayaan mapagkaitan ang mga tiga Cagayan de Oro na kanilang karapatang magkaroon na sapat, malinis, ligtas na supply ng tubig. Sa ating pagkakaisa at sama-samang pagkikilos, tiwala ako na magtatagumpay tayo sa mga hamong ating hinaharap at pagpatuloy ang pag-angat natin at pag-unlad sa Northern Mindanao. Sa inyong suporta, sa inyong tulong, at sa ating pagkakaisa, gayon din sa pamamagitan ng ating agarang pagtugon sa pangangailangan ng bawat mamamayan, magiging tagumpay ang ating laban hindi lamang sa tagtuyot at problema sa tubig, kundi pati na rin ang pag-unlad ng ating bansa. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat sa suporta na ibinigay ninyo sa amin nung nakarang halalan. Ito po ay susuklian namin ng lahat ng kaya namin gawin upang pagandahin ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino at pagandahin ang ating minamahal na bansang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday said the government will further strengthen its monitoring in the processing and compliance to requirements of applying for a visa in the Philippines. This was the message of the president amid the calls to take back the power of the Bureau of Immigration or BI to convert tourist visas into student visas by foreigners entering the country. In an ambush interview in Cagayan de Oro City, the chief executive said there are no particular nationality that this applies to. All are equal. President Marcos said the government needs to make sure that foreign visitors who enter the country does not abuse their privilege as tourists.
Walang stricter rules pa kahit sa kanino. Pare-pareho lang ang rules sa lahat ng ating mga kaibigan nang gagaling. Ang problema lang, dahil maliwanag na maliwanag at lumalabas ang mga report na meron nag-aabuso nito. Kaya't babantayan namin ito. So what we will do is to more strictly enforce. Whereas dati, hindi natin masyadong tinitignan, nakita natin maraming nagiging problema dahil dyan nakakakuha sila ng mga peke na dokumento, kung ano-ano ginagawa, may mga illegal, mga scammer, may human trafficking, maraming problemang dala. Kaya titiyakin natin na kung meron talagang papasok, ay tiyakin natin na talagang tama naman sila at huwag sila nagtatanggap basta nakapasok na sila. Magtatanggap sila na Pilipino sila. Maliwanag na hindi. Alam naman natin na hindi sila Pilipino. Una-una, hindi marunong mag-Tagalog, hindi marunong mag-Bisaya, hindi marunong magsalita ng Pilipino. At saka walang maipakita ng mga birth certificate, yung mga pinapakita ay fake. So, titiyakin namin na hindi na matatapos yun. Yun yung in-identify ni Kong Ace. Yung student visa, isa pa yun. Abuso yun. So, titiyakin natin na hindi na mangyayari yun. Walang special na rules para sa kahit na kanino. Pantay-pantay lang lahat. Pero gagandahan namin ang enforcement doon sa examination, doon sa mga nag-a-apply ng visa o doon sa mga nagko-convert doon sa tourist visa ng student visa at yung mga bumibili ng lupa dahil nagtatanggap sila na Pilipino sila, yung mga ganong klaseng, ito yung mga nakikita nating scammer, mga human trafficking, yun ang binabantayan namin. Kahit naman sino, basta ginagawa nila yan, huhulihin natin.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine Army's 4th Infantry Division, or 4ID, on Thursday assured Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. of his full support to the desire and programs of the administration towards a new Philippines. Proof of which is the presentation of a manifesto of commitment that includes all of the 4th Infantry Division's logos to the President by 4ID Commander Major General Jose Maria Cuerpo II when the Commander-in-Chief visited Camp Edilberto Evangelista in Patag, Cagayan de Oro City. In his talk with the troops, the chief executive praised the achievements of the 4ID in neutralizing the leaders of the communist terrorists in northern Mindanao and the Caraga region, and thanked the soldiers for their service and sacrifice on their successful mission. President Marcos also assured the administration's support not only to the troops but also their families. In the same speech, the President reported that the government has so far invested 5.3 billion pesos in 758 projects across 356 towns as part of the campaign against communist insurgency. These projects include infrastructure, farm-to-market roads, water systems, schools, and health centers, of which over 78% are now considered completed.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, we would like to invite everyone to come and visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang in Review. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.